So after adding a style tag to separate the CSS from our HTML, now our table header and image looks much more neat. At least it's much more easy to manage the CSS styling after separating. But you can imagine as we keep developing our website, we may keep more and more and more and more CSS in the HTML file, which will end up make it even worse than original way of approach. So now we already have like around 100 lines of code in our HTML. If we add more and more, it will goes like 1,000 lines or 2,000 lines though. So this is really ridiculous, right? How can I scroll through 1,000 lines to find what I want to change, right? So in this video, I'm going to introduce how we can separate the CSS file, CSS styles to another separate file and then import it to the HTML. So the first thing is we want to open up a new file. So we right click, new file. Maybe we call it custom CSS custom underscore CSS dot CSS. So the file extension is a .css, and you can use your custom name. So I hit enter. The first thing I want to do is to copy all the CSS into the CSS file. So you don't have to add the style tag, you just need to include all the thing inside the style tag. So now after we copy it, we remove it, and then we need to add a line to indicate that we want to import the CSS from custom CSS.css file. So in order to do this, we need a HTML tag called the link. Okay, link come with only one set, and then with an attribute rel defining the relationship of the thing we are going to import with the HTML. So the things we are going to import is the style sheet of the HTML. So the relationship is a style sheet. And the next thing is we also want to specify the type of the file. The type of the file is a text type in CSS. And the last thing is we need a hypertext reference to the file that we define. So the file name is a custom CSS.css. So remember, the file extension must be a .css, and you can add your custom name. And this hypertext reference, if you remember the A tag I introduced, you can also do website. You can also get the CSS from a website, but this time because we defined it in our local path, so we can directly call custom CSS.css. So after this line is added, the idea is the HTML will link to this file, and then at the end replace this line with all the styling included in the style tag. Okay, so it will add back the style tag here. I don't want to type all the thing, but the idea is like this. So now we change the whole, we export the whole CSS and then change it into a single line. We save it, come back, refresh it. Nothing changes because all the styles were there. It will just copy and paste and put it back in the same place. But the thing is, I want to prove it, right? Let me change this the background to blue, maybe the border to red with a 5 pixel, and image radius with a 0 pixel, right? After I save it, I come back, I hit refresh. Okay, so this is because I'm not opening the correct file. So let me open the correct file. This is sometimes a common mistake for developers to updating a file that you are not updating, like refreshing a file that you are not updating. So let me come back. Remember, you can drag and drop the HTML file into the browser. Okay, now, after I get the correct file, I can immediately see the background turns to blue, the border turned to 3 pixels and red in color, and the radius turned to 0 pixel. So that proves the import is actually working, right? Okay, so in this video, I taught you how you can separate your CSS outside to separate file, so you can make your HTML file look much more neat and tidy. So I hope it helps, and see you next time.